for at least a generation. And it's a little bit more complicated than this, but we could fairly predictably expect Democrats and liberal-leaning politicians and judges to be more pro-defendant, as it were, and advocate for more pro-defendant rulings, and that we could expect the more conservative Republican politicians and judges to be more pro-police, pro-law enforcement, pro-prosecutor. But over the last decade or so especially, there's been quite formally, there's one organization called Right on Crime, and there's been a real, I think, consequential and interesting push among right-leaning politicians and a number of political figures, including justices, to say, no, the criminal justice system is just another form of big government, and we need to be worried, whether it's mass incarceration, whether it's asset forfeitures or other kinds of police practices that seem to be about the government growing and the government imposing itself on the individual. We're concerned about that as well. And the reason I bring it up is because I remember writing on my blog and elsewhere, even before this movement really emerged, that I thought criminal justice reform ought to be a conservative issue, or at least one that we would hear some folks on the right expressing interest in because of their repeated discussions at a theoretical level of personal liberty, individual freedom, small government, free markets, all of that. And so, it was heartening for me to see this movement emerge. And I think we've not only seen it emerge, we've seen it find expression in a number of state and federal officials advocating aggressively, even when they're conservatives, Republicans, self-avowed, at the need for prison reform, the need for sentencing reform. For me, whether and how that's sustaining, not only on the GOP side, but how it merges with a range of traditional liberal organizations advocating for a range of criminal justice reforms, that's what I'm watching closely.